Rainbow Six Siege is a complicated game, with many layers, and for new players starting out, like yourself hopefully, it can all seem a bit daunting. In this series though, I'm going to be giving you a beginner-level crash course on how to play each role. As for all the nuances, you can find them out for yourself. But for now, I would like to welcome you to Siege Kindergarten. Good evening, class. Whatever. Anyway, like the intro said, basically I'm going to be teaching you a little bit about how to start out. This episode is focused on defense. Now, defending is fairly self-explanatory. You don't let the people into the objective. How you do that can be decided on several factors. Option 1, and the most popular, is roaming. Now, I don't recommend starting off as a roamer. It can lead you down the road to some pretty unhealthy habits. Now, what is roaming, is what I'm hearing you ask. Roaming, my young Padawan, is the act of wandering around the map searching for the attackers. Their goal, or what I'm going to be referring to as their primary purpose, is to waste the time of the attackers and make them paranoid. This way they aren't focused solely on the bomb site or hostage or biohazard, whichever game mode you prefer. Roaming is defined by its distance from the site, because there's another role on defense called lurking and another called anchors, which we'll get into in other videos. Roamers tend to be the furthest from the objective, but don't let that fool you into never returning to the site. You should always be able to find your way back if the odds for your team are looking, let's say, unfavorable. Another defining feature of a roamer is their speed and health rating. Now, these aren't always indicative, as we'll get into, but if an operator is 3 speed, the fastest, and 1 health, the weakest, with 100 HP, they can usually be called a roamer. Speed health are always the inverse of each other, with one exception being 2-2. 3-1 will be fast and weak, 2-2 will be well-rounded, and 1-3 will be slow but strong. And the final determinant factor of a roamer is their gadget or special ability. Now obviously each operator has one, except for you, recruit. But someone in this role benefits well from a gadget that provides information and allows them to frag, which is to get kills, very well. And there are some anchors and lurkers who fall into this category. One more thing before I forget. A roamer should typically be hunting for the drones to keep them away from sight and, at your discretion, reinforcing the hatches above the objective to make entry a bit more tedious for the attacking operators. Anyways, now defending is a bit of a tricky beast, because realistically anyone could fit any role. Any character could be a roamer, an anchor, or a lurker. That's where we get into the discussion of roamers by design or roamers by community perception. There are several operators the community at large would define as a roamer. I think breaking it down by giving you a list of designated roamers will help you in a very big way. And viewer discretion. All of this information is accurate as of Year 9, Season 1. If anything changes, I might make an updated video about the specific changes in the future. So without further ado, here are your roamers.
In a life-threatening situation, the average person's heartbeat can be upwards of 175 beats per minute.
Pulse is a 3-speed, 1-health operator, which makes him perfect for roaming. His unique gadget is the cardiac sensor. His gadget allows him to scan enemy heartbeats from up to 9 meters away, in normal circumstances, of course. An operator who has been adrenaline boosted, another thing we'll talk about later, can be seen up to 14 meters away instead. Every time the cardiac sensor detects an attacker, it beeps once. The beeping sound that the cardiac sensor emits gets louder as the proximity between Pulse and his target gets closer. When targets get closer, the red dot will grow larger in low proximity. His loadout consists of the M1014 shotgun and the UMP-45 submachine gun. It's dealer's choice on these, but the more popular pick is the SMG. His secondary weapons are the M45 or the 5.7 USG pistols. These both have their upsides and downsides, but I prefer the 5.7. His secondary gadgets are the Nitro Cell, which is a manually detonated C4, Deployable Shield, which works as a barricade or obstacle, and the Observation Blockers, which put up a screen that doesn't allow attacking cameras to see through. The more popular of these choices, and the most cohesive with his kit as a whole, is the C4. Pulse is a bit advanced, and works best when playing vertical as opposed to horizontal, but he works in multiple situations as he is an incredibly versatile op. Vertical, for those of you who don't know, is playing up and down, like you play below them instead of playing on the same level as them. That's just an important distinction that I feel like I should have made.
Breaking your ally wasn't very challenging, but I found ways to have fun.
Cavera, or Cav as she is known throughout most of the community, is a 3-speed, 1-health operator. Her unique ability, because she doesn't really have a gadget, is Silent Step. Her footstep audio is reduced significantly, and she is locked into her secondary weapon, the Louisan Suppressed Pistol. The Louisan will always knock an operator into the down but not out stage, even on headshots, and without being in Silent Step. Her ability works as a direct counter to the attacking operator Jackal, as when she enters Silent Step she leaves no footprints, which is what allows Jackal to track people down. As well as her not leaving footprints behind, she completely removes the ability for his scan to follow her once she activates Silent Step. Her loadout consists of the M12 submachine gun and the Spaz 15 shotgun. Once again, dealer's choice on this one, they are both very viable. The shotgun has a higher chance to send the enemy into the down but not out stage than the SMG though, so do with that what you will. Her only secondary option is, of course, the custom suppressed pistol, the Louisan, which is hard-coded to always knock an enemy, even on headshots. Additionally, she can approach downed enemies regardless of the source of their injury and commence what is called an interrogation, which locks you into an animation for a few seconds, but upon completion, you will now have revealed the identities of the entire attacking team and have live locations for a few seconds. Be warned though, an alert does appear on the attacker's screen telling them that they've been revealed by your interrogation. Her secondary gadgets are the impact grenade, useful for making holes in walls and securing low health targets, proximity alarms which beep when an enemy crosses them, and once again, observation blockers. The most popular choice is impacts, as they allow for fast responses and quick rotations. Cav is an operator with a very low skill floor but a high skill ceiling, making her rewarding to master, and for the longest time she was seen as the definitive roamer.
I'm in everyone's blind spot.
Vigil is another 3-speed, 1-health operator. See what I mean when I say patterns? His unique gadget is the Electronic Rendering Cloak, or the ERC-7. His gadget allows him to appear almost invisible from any attacking camera, drone, or other source of camera-based intel, like Lion, Iona, and Deimos. Now I say almost invisible for a specific reason, and it's quite important reason too. There are white, fuzzy lines around the edge of the device that alert the attacker to his presence. Additionally, if he runs, shoots, vaults, or really performs any action at all that isn't just walking, he will show up on the camera as a blurred out image. You will know you successfully evaded detection if when the camera is looking at you, the lens is bright white instead of glowing red. You will also receive 5 points for fooling an observation device. His loadout consists of the K1A submachine gun and the Boss G slug shotgun. I personally prefer the K1, and I know most people agree with that, but some mad lads actually like the Boss G, which is an acceptable choice as well, I suppose. His secondaries are the C75 automatic pistol and the SMG-12, which is a submachine gun. Pick your poison. They're both good. His secondary gadgets are the impact grenades and the bulletproof camera, which is a bulletproof camera that can launch small electromagnetic pulses that disable attacking equipment. Much like Cavera, the impacts are the more popular choice for much of the same reason. And much like Cavera is to Jackal, Vigil is a direct counter to Lion, as when he activates his ERC-7 while Lion is using his scan, he will be invisible to the camera. Vigil is best utilized slowly, hiding, hunting, waiting for his chance to strike, much like Cavera once again. He is a very easy character to grasp, but very, very hard to master.
Located the diffuser, destroy it.
Illusions are fatal. If you waver, you're mine.
Alibi is a 3-speed, 1-health operator, once again keeping the train moving on these quick-paced characters. Her gadget is the Prisma, which is a hologram of Alibi, a near-perfect replica, except for one crucial thing. The decoy uses the default primary weapon, which is the MX-4 Storm, with no attachments or skins, and her appearance itself will always be in her default skin, so you are actively encouraged to not use cosmetics. Once the hologram is shot or interacted with, whether it be by a thrown grenade or other means, they will be revealed and have live pings following them. Additionally, if she or a teammate runs outside, which would normally reveal the operator they were playing and an icon above their head, they instead have a question mark and the prompt reads identity hidden. Her loadout is, as I said, the MX-4 Storm SMG and the ACS-12 Slug Shotgun. Both are viable, so take your pick. Her secondaries are the Bailiff 410 or the Keratos 357 revolvers. I'm telling you now, use the Bailiff. It is a shotgun revolver, it makes holes in walls for rotations and opens hatches. It's just the best choice. Anyone who gets the Bailiff should just take it. Her secondary gadgets are the proximity alarms and the observation blockers. I think both of her gadgets are pretty disappointing, but take whichever one you feel like you can be more creative with, because Alibi's playstyle is about outsmarting and outplaying the enemy team. And because of that, Alibi is very difficult to get into. I would suggest anchoring with her for a while until you get a grasp on her kit. But once you begin to perform well with her, it is quite rewarding. And when you are confident enough, that's when you should hop from your nest and take off, for lack of a better term. Anyway, moving on.
Friendly's victorious. Hostiles eliminated.
This is where you stop.
Clash breaks the patterns of the roamers in several ways. First off, she is 1 speed, 3 health. Second of all, you should never, and I mean never, roam alone with Clash. She works best with a roaming partner, because she is useless without her teammates. And finally, and most glaring of all, she has no primary weapons. She comes equipped with her unique gadget, the Crowd Control Electro Shield, or CCE for short, which is a massive lightweight shield which covers the front of her body from head to toe. The special part about the shield is it emits electricity from the front of it, which slows and does very little damage over time to the enemies in range. Beware though, it runs on a bar, and once it runs out, you'll have to let it recharge, which leaves you vulnerable. Much like any shield op, her shield can be smacked aside to allow you to shoot her. As well as all of that, her shield can be disabled with EMPs. Her loadout consists of her CCE shield for the primary, and as for the secondary, she gets 3 choices: the Super Shorty shotgun, the SPS SMG submachine gun, and the P10C handgun. My personal favorite is the Super Shorty. The SPS is also valid. The handgun is the worst choice. Don't take it. If you need to draw your weapon as Clash, honestly, you're going to need more than a pistol to help. Her secondary gadgets are the impact grenades, barbed wire, which slows attackers down and makes noise when they pass it, and deployable shield. Take your pick, they are all valuable and viable. Everything I could say about Clash has already been said at the beginning of her section, except for one thing. Well, 2 I guess. Clash is not for beginners. Only try her out if you feel confident in your skills. And 2, people in the community hate her. They see her as cheap and will probably look down on you for playing her. Let their hate fuel you, and you will honestly become stronger for it.
I won't leave you behind. Not now, not ever. Let's get you back on your feet.
Warden is a 1 speed, 3 health operator, and, well, Warden is an interesting case, because he was designed as an anchor, a plant denial operator best utilized on site, but the community has kinda said no to that and roams with him anyway. Of course, most people just use him for his gun and not his gadget, which is the Glance smart glasses. The Glance allows you to see through flashbangs, and while standing still allows you to see through smoke and other effects like that, such as Sense's ROU. A very useful gadget, but not properly utilized. There's not really too much more to say on him, except for the fact that while activating his glasses, you are animation locked for a small fraction of a second, and also you can activate the glasses after the effect and have the clarity applied there, and completely remove the effects of the flash or smoke. Always have it active while swinging an attacker, just in case, and don't panic and forget you have it. It is an invaluable tool. His loadout consists of the M59O A1 shotgun and the MPX submachine gun. The MPX is the correct choice, and I will not elaborate on this, save for it is probably in the top 3 best SMGs in the game. His secondaries are the SMG-12 and the P10C handgun. If you're running the M5, the SMG-12 is your best bet, but otherwise run the handgun. But it really is up to preference. His secondary gadgets are the Nitro Cell, deployable shield, and observation blockers. Most people choose the C4 to prioritize kills, but it's up to you with this, honestly.
Bottles through the eternal air.
Orex is a 2-speed, 2-health operator, and I personally see him as the definitive archetypical roamer, simply because of his special ability, the Rima Dash. Sacrificing 5 health and subjecting yourself to slight blurred vision for a moment, you can run through soft walls, creating massive holes. On top of that, you can run into shield ops and knock them over, making Orex a great counter to the ever-present oppression that is shields. Granted, running into anyone will knock them over, but you get my meaning. Additionally, he can also jump up and climb through open hatches, which gives you an interesting dilemma of what hatches to reinforce, if any at all. His loadout consists of the T5 submachine gun and the Spaz-12 shotgun. Grab the T5, the Spaz-12 is kinda ass, but it's up to you really. I can't make your choices for you. His secondaries are the legendary Bailiff revolver and the USP-40. This choice is also up to you, though I much prefer the bailiff as it allows you to open up hatches easier. But if you have the bailiff, you don't need the shotgun, but if you have the shotgun, you don't need the bailiff. So it's, you know, it's whatever. Either of those options makes it easier for you to roam about the map freely because you can open up hatches, like, way easier. The secondary gadgets are the proximity alarms and barbed wire. For what you pick here just depends on how you're looking to support your teammates, slowing attackers down or alerting defenders to their approximate location. It is really up to you.
Op 4 eliminated. Mission successful.
If you know the game before it starts, no pawn can stand in your way.
Soulless is a 2-speed, 2-health operator, and as of this video's posting, she is the most recent roamer to have been released. Her unique gadget makes her a mirror to attack's IQ, and it's the Specchio Electro Sensor, which allows her to see active attacker technology for up to 15 meters. This includes the diffuser if it's deployed or on the ground, and any defender technology hacked by Brava. Additionally, she can hold the interact button to scan the technology in the center square of her visor and reveal it to the team. Her loadout includes the P90 submachine gun and the ITA-12L shotgun for primaries. Of the options, pick the P90, because it has the best range and the most consistent damage, and significantly more ammunition. Her only secondary option is the SMG-11, which is a high rate of fire, high recoil pocket submachine gun. Her secondary gadgets are the impact grenades and the bulletproof camera. I recommend taking the impacts as it helps her with plant denial. Soulless is a very difficult operator to start and more difficult to master, especially for a beginner. I have 2 recommendations for how to play her. The first is to play her underneath the bomb site if possible, and try for plant denial with impact grenades. And the second is to play her where you know it is common for attackers to breach through, and use that scanner to try and reveal it to the team and then stop it from happening. Don't make those your only gimmicks, because she is far more diverse than that, and truly has a lot of utility. But start with plant denial on that, and you'll be on the right track to figuring out how to play Soulless. So that was your first class. Any questions you have related to the topic, I'd be happy to answer in the comments below. Please try and keep things civil down there. I know it can be difficult with you Siege players being unrepentantly awful and toxic. Much love, though. Like if you liked, dislike if you didn't. That's what it's there for. Sub if you want. More content like this will be coming out in waves, sorta. Anyway, all that said and done, class is dismissed.